Welcome. This is the continuation of the Learning Unit 3, and in this recording, we're going to be covering theme 2, which is the business functions in entrepreneurship. The previous theme was all about the business plan, and now we're taking it a step further, and kind of, introducing the different elements of the business plan in terms of their function. So, business functions in entrepreneurship. The learning outcomes include discussing the planning, organization, leading, and controlling as fundamental functions in the process of starting up a business. If there's something else I can underline, it is the planning, because it is a four step process. In order for you to start up your business, you need to, number one, plan, then you need to organize, then you need to lead, and then you need to control. So this is what we'll be discussing in this chapter. Then another learning outcome includes critically evaluating factors to consider in relation to the business location, the risk identification and management, and quality systems and risk management as some of the main business functions in entrepreneurship. And then lastly, we will analyze the concept and importance of ethical behavior for entrepreneurs. Such an understated, I'm just so sad. It's literally like one page discussing ethics, but really, guys, ethics can be discussed in a book. In fact, there is a book called, Business Ethics, and it is so underrated because, corruption is so prevalent in businesses and government. And yeah, like I said, it's just a passion of mine, I guess, and I wish it could have been discussed even more. So, introduction. This chapter will focus on the things that need to be done before starting up, as well as important matters that the entrepreneur must attend to. It also focuses on the management of the business and important aspects that must be in place from the start to ensure a successful venture. Then the management of the risks involved will be evaluated, and attention will be given to total quality management. And in the previous chapter we talked about risks, and this one is in terms of the product. You need to make sure that your product is fitted with total quality management in terms of the production. And then lastly, like I said, the ethics considerations that are involved in starting a business. And yeah, it's sad that we don't get to discuss them in so much detail. So then you've formulated your business plan, and now there's a countdown to start up and gradual start up. So the process of starting a business is based on the fundamentals of management. So remember, in chapter 1 of this book, there was and it's just a pity I don't have that figure in this slide, or in these slides. It was like a figure. If you see where my cursor is going, it was like a rectangular kind of a figure with like two triangles, right, that are facing each other. And it was just basically saying here, it's a lot of entrepreneurial work, but the more you run your business, the more management functions start to kick in. Because in the beginning, as an entrepreneur, you're taking risks, you're putting together the resources, etc. But once you start running your business through time, then kick in the management responsibilities. And the more and more and more you run your business, the more important these are, and hence they are going to be discussed in this chapter. So number one, planning. Planning what? Planning the venture. Okay, planning the venture largely takes place during the idea generation and opportunity recognition process that companies in the business plan. So you're planning your business. You're thinking, oh, this is my idea. This is what I'm going to sell. This is how much I'm going to sell, blah, 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 blah. So then the business plan forces the entrepreneur to think about the plan of the marketing the plan to think about and plan the marketing, production, operations, management, and finances of the new business venture. So in other words, that chapter that we just did now on the business plan. That is the planning of the business. And then to get started, the business plan must be converted into a number of action plans. So you're basically taking your business plan and now you're using it as your blueprint. Remember, we said that your business plan is like your action strategy, right? So you would then need to have time frames and deadlines. Remember, we said, you want to sell, 300 dresses or 100 dresses, was it? You sell 100 dresses in 3 months, then hence the time frames and deadlines. And then also the resources that you will need in respect of each plan. So what resources do you need in terms of people? Resources do you need in terms of money and or other assets? The second one is organizing. Organizing the venture requires the gathering of resources. So these include meeting legal requirements, finding a site for the business, and deciding on a legal form of the business. And remember, like finding the site for your business, it's something that you would have included in your business plan, but now you're actually going about and actually doing it. It also requires the development of policies and procedures in respect of employment ethics and quality assurance. Employment means getting together employment contracts that you would need to put in place. The third step is leading. Leading starts when the venture starts trading and also when staff members are appointed. So the minute you have people that are working for you, you need to start leading those people. So these people need to be motivated, they need to be coordinated, and they need to be controlled. The various functions such as marketing, finance, production, purchasing, communication, and information, all of these need to be structured. And then lastly, control. Control requires record keeping. So remember, you're running your business, you're selling your products, etc. Once that is happening, you need to then control it. Controlling it in terms of record keeping. Record keeping says to you, you've sold 100 dresses, you've managed to do what you said in the time that you said you will do it, and hence you need to then record keep, as well as then risk management, quality, ethics, and internal control systems must be set up to ensure the smooth running of your business and the protection of its assets. Then locating the business. Location is one of the aspects that must be investigated as part of the business plan. So while you're drawing up your business plan, you already need to kind of have, an idea of where you want to be, the premises that you want to take over, etc. An entrepreneur must occasionally consider relocating the business to reduce costs, get closer to customers, or gain other advantages. And I like the fact that they say you must occasionally consider this, because maybe you start your business and because of finances, you started at your home. But now, because the business is growing so much, you need to start then relocating or considering other premises. And then that could also then be, maybe in this instance, it wouldn't be necessarily to reduce costs, because if you're moving from your home to other premises, you're going to start actually incurring costs. However, you might want to consider getting closer to your customers or gaining other advantages, such as maybe increased space to work, expansion capabilities, etc. And then what are the factors that you need to consider in the physical establishment of the business? Number one, access to target market. For some businesses, it is important to be near your target market. Hair salons, for instance, they are where their customers are walking in and out. And that's in fact how they get their business, because the person will be walking and then they see, oh, this is a nice hair salon and I actually need a hairdresser. Then you walk in, right? Food, Pick and Pay. Pick and Pay is not going to locate itself at some far away place that is hard to reach, but maybe a mine might be, right? And then hence the availability of raw materials. Some businesses are dependent on area-based raw materials. For example, floor tiles that use a specialized clay for example, if you have those, it makes economic sense to base the factory near the clay deposits, much like a mine. You're going to mine where the what the raw materials or the resources, the natural resources are. You're not gonna mine. Okay, I was about to say in Joburg, but I remember I just remember Johannesburg used to be like the gold capital. So you're not gonna mine, start a mine in Bloemfontein. You're gonna start a mine, in Limpopo or something. And then support and technical infrastructure. In certain cases, a business uses complicated equipment. So if a complicated piece of equipment breaks down, it's important to have the support of repair technicians and spare parts available without losing production time. So, for instance, with DSTV technicians, right, they make sure that they're available anywhere and everywhere, so that should anything happen with your customers, they are there to then help you. And then transport infrastructure. Transport infrastructure refers to aspects such as roads, trains, and public transport. You want to make sure that your business is like situated in a place that where you can access infrastructure. So transport infrastructure is important. Um, is important and is essential to transport staff, products, and customers to and from the business. Sorry, I don't know what this was supposed to mean, but this is clearly an error. So again, you get like malls, for instance. People need to work at malls. Every time there's a mall like that stands up, for sure there'll be a taxi rank that gets established next to it, because number one, the people that work at the malls need to access the mall, and the customers also then need to access the mall. And then availability of labor and skills. The availability of skilled labor and administrative staff is an important factor. If people are not available in certain key areas of the business, may suffer. So you want to make sure that you are, or you've got access to labor and skills. And then climatic conditions. Certain products cannot be produced in very cold or very hot conditions, or in very dry. So whatever the seasons, you need to make sure that the season is appropriate, or the climatic conditions are appropriate for your business needs. The climate also plays a role in the attraction of skilled staff to your business. You find some people that are just like, what, I'm not going to move there because it's too cold. I'm not going to move there because it's too hot. Some people just have those needs, and they then choose the kind of job that they will take and consider based on climatic conditions. And then lastly, political and social stability. It is important that the business should be based in a stable political environment so that it can enjoy maximum productivity. However, some businesses thrive on political instability, right? For example, a security company, you want for there to be instability so that your people can go and do their job. And then locating your business. Number one, you get home-based businesses, right? These are located in the residence of the entrepreneur. This type of location is appropriate to a business where space requirements are modest. Facebook, so many companies started in their garages. Who's that guy? The Apple guy, Steve Jobs. I think, yeah, Steve Jobs also started in a garage. Yeah. And then spatial and non-spatial boundaries between the home and business must be established. So you don't want children running in and out. And hence, when we started working from home, we've all seen those funny videos where like a guy is like, having a meeting, and then children start walking in, and or you like not wearing the appropriate outfit or something. Yeah. So boundaries need to be set up. So an example, yeah, here's it. It is any startups, and yeah, Apple, for instance, how it started. Then you get residentially area-based businesses, and such businesses are distinct from those that are operated from an office block, shopping mall, or a factory mall. The rationale usually ranges from access to target markets, to convenience and affordability. So this particular trend has been exploited mostly by service industries, professional services, and medical practitioners. You will find that these people, they literally take a house, and then they convert it into business premises. So you take the whole house and then you convert it into offices or whatever. Hence, it's doctors. Every time you go, okay, maybe not every time, but like a lot of the times, you find that doctors, they operate in like houses like that. Lawyers, they love that kind of stuff, and so other service industries, and those would be located in residential areas. Then you get shopping centers, and this is ideal for businesses dealing with fast moving consumer goods. If you're going to be in a shopping center, that means you're going to need a lot of traction. You're going to need a lot of customers that are going to walk in and out. The rent is so expensive there, hence, you need those people. So when selecting shopping centers, the following considerations must well, the following things must be considered. Feet count, I've just talked about that. Parking, do your customers have enough parking? Are they not going to struggle for parking in order for them to get to your business? Maintenance, conditions of lease agreement, security, attitude of center management, and location within the center. And then risk management. We've talked about risk in the previous chapter, but here it is again. So risk is involved because valuable resources must be committed to a venture. Uncertainty is uncontrollable and unpredictable, and is an inextricable part of any business. Risk management consists of all the efforts that you put in place to preserve the assets and earning power of your business. So, what are the different types of risks that you've got? You've got your macroeconomic environment. Like with number one in our country right now is load shedding as part of this macroeconomic environment. It also includes business cycles, technology, politics. Then you've got the market environment, which are your consumers. So, what are their preferences? Consumer preferences might change. Today, they want a fast car, that takes up gasoline. Tomorrow, they want a fast car that is a hybrid car. Tomorrow, they want another fast car that is like an electronic car. So, based on your customer preferences, that could pose a risk for your business. And then price changes. And, I would like to change that statement and actually say price increases because prices never go down, right? Prices just always go up. So if prices go up, what are the consequences for you? Think about people, trucks, like businesses that are, in logistics, for instance. It takes how much a truck takes, how many liters of petrol every time the petrol price goes up. That has implications on your business, as well as then your competition. We know that in the micro environment, your competition plays a very important role because you guys are the ones that are fighting for your consumers. Then the micro environment, and this is inside your own business. So customer risk, personnel risk, and these are the people that are working for you. So what are the risks there? People could want to leave your company because you don't pay them a lot because you're just starting out. Hmm? Pro- Property risks, that we've discussed in terms of lease agreements, etc., and then as well as the op, what the prospect, or not the prospect, but the possibility of bankruptcy. There's what they call a wheel of misfortune in page 207 of your prescribed textbook. Please check it out. And then risk needs to be managed actively by the entrepreneur. We know that by now. And these are here we're going to discuss a few possible strategies that need to be considered. So in other words, what options do you have when you deal with risk? Number one, the first option that you have is that you can retain your risk, right? It means that you bear the risk and you accept it as part of your business. The petrol price is going up. There's nothing that you can do. You just roll with it, right? This normally happens when the potential loss is small or insignificant. But sometimes it's part of the core of your business. You petrol prices are going up. That means you will probably also increase your prices. You're taking on that risk and you're moving on with it. Then you can try to reduce your risk. This strategy is considered if the possibility of a loss cannot be eliminated completely, but its impact can be reduced. So, you see, okay, maybe I can reduce the petrol or the risk of petrol by, increasing my own prices. Then you can try and avoid risk. That means that nothing will be done or explored. Risk avoidance may mean not investing in the business in the first instance and in an existing business to avoid doing anything new at all. I don't know if it's quite a strategy, but I guess not having a strategy is also a strategy. And then transfer to another party. You can, transfer your risk. And I guess maybe that's the petrol example, right? The petrol price is increasing for you. What do? You take your risk and you transfer it to who? Your customers. But that's also risky because then what are the chances that your customers are going to want to pay that price? So transfer of risk can be done through underwriting or through insurance. Then quality systems and management. Your quality management, so important. All new firms have an operations process or production activities that produce goods and services for customers. It is important to have a quality system that you put in place for your products. You want to make sure that every product that you produce basically meets the standard minimum requirements for quality. So most countries, they require ISO 9000 or the ISO 1.4 certification by national certification body. In South Africa, it is the South African Bureau of Standards. We all know the SABS. A lot of the products that you see will be SABS approved. What that means is that these products have been tested and indeed they meet the production requirements. So if a table is, a table and it's supposed to stand for 100 years, they test it for 100 years. Okay, very bad example. They are tested for 100 years, and once the 100 years lapses, then they say, okay, we've tested your table, it can stand for 100 years, and hence you've got, the warranties and the guarantees. That's where they come from, because you've said your product can meet and these and this and that standards. You prove it, and hence you can then get SABS approved. So what are quality systems? Quality system standards identify those features that can help a business to consistently meet its customer requirements. Why do you need to have a quality system in place? Some customers in both private and public sectors are looking for the confidence that can be given by a business having a quality system. You want to know that the product that you're going to buy, it's much like with any business. You want to know that, your money is going to be spent well. So remember, we talked about, business plans and the fact that you want a return on investment. Having a quality product and quality systems in place helps you to kind of give your business more credibility. So how do you put a quality system in place? Often the costs involved often the cost involved would be to have key employees either certified or qualified or registered with specific membership numbers. So for instance, if you are manufacturing TVs, you want to make sure that your employees or the key people that are going to produce these TVs, they have certification. I'll use an example that I know better, maybe in fashion designing, for instance, right? You might not want to go to a person who's just like, oh, you know what, I can make a skirt, versus a person who's just like, you know what, I went to a fashion design school and I've got my 3-year degree. You're probably going to trust the person who's got the 3-year degree because they spent 3 years, learning how to, produce quality products. So hence you need to put it in place. So to ensure standardization of service delivery, it is important to have this quality system in place, a system of service delivery that has specific tasks and monitoring systems. So in other words, if you're going to produce a skirt, there are certain steps that are gonna be put in place, and those steps also then ensure quality standards. So by the end of the production of the skirt, what you do is then you check the skirt and then you say, okay, this skirt is a skirt, it's got a zip, it's got a button, it's got, I don't know, pleats, lining, whatever it is that it needs to have. All of those would then be put in place.
Over the past decades, McDonald's has brought lots of enjoyable experience to the crowd. McDonald's is so successful due to its ever-improving quality management.
Perceived quality.
Hello, I'm reporter Connie. Today I'm going to investigate why McDonald's are so popular. Hey sir, why do you visit McDonald's?
Oh, because it's very convenient. The ingredients used are also fresh.
McDonald's launched a made-for-you program. The food is produced after receiving customers' orders.
Consistent performance.
Can you find any differences? No difference. To ensure consistency, hamburger universities are set up. They train staffs in different departments to standardize its products and services.
Reliability.
McDonald's select ingredients of good quality. Only the best ingredients are selected by McDonald's Food Studio and Quality Centers. Here is a video taken inside the laboratory.
Aesthetics.
In the past, foam boxes are used. Now they are replaced by better designed paper boxes for environmental reasons. Before, interior design was more or less the same. Wall paintings were the major decorations. Modern elements have then been gradually added. The latest design is to divide the restaurant into different color zones.
Serviceability.
How can I get access to the internet?
You can use the Wi-Fi service of McDonald's. That is the Wi-Fi zone. Oh, it's already 7 a.m. We have stayed up late in the 24-hour operated McDonald's.
I'm very bored. What can I do?
You can watch TV, read magazines, or even play video games.
McDelivery was also launched. People can enjoy tasty McDonald's meal at home. In terms of perceived quality, performance, reliability, aesthetics, and serviceability, McDonald's have done a great job. That's why Ronald McDonald is so happy.
Silly video, but I love it because it just explains. And I think when we talk about quality, the epitome example, the prime example is a McDonald's burger. A Big Mac always tastes like a Big Mac, always tastes like a Big Mac, always tastes like a Big Mac. You'll never go to McDonald's and then a Big Mac doesn't taste like a Big Mac. And hence quality assurance. People want to know that if I bought a TV from you, the next time I buy a TV from you, it's going to be, the same TV, if not better. So yeah. Ethics, again, very understated, very underrated section of this chapter. So sad for me, but it is what it is. So the business needs to have an ethical charter and a statement of personal values to ensure that everybody, even the owners, especially the owners, understands the value that underpin the business. The entrepreneur will face many ethical challenges throughout his career or his or her career, And then new and small growth firms are especially vulnerable to extortion and bribery and can be under extreme pressure to compromise ethical standards. Somebody can quickly say to you, you know what? It's like tenders. I'll give you a tender for what? It's easy because you don't have money. Okay, even people have money. Like they get bribes. But you know what I'm saying? Because you're not doing well, it's easy for you to be bribed, and somebody will promise you all this kind of money which you don't have, and then it's you're more susceptible to agreeing to those kinds of offers because of your desperation. And then record keeping and internal control. The accounting system for a business should accomplish the following objectives. Number one, it must maintain source documents and provide an audit trail. It must provide an accurate, thorough picture of operating results. It must permit a quick overview of present and part operating results. Then it must facilitate prompt filing of reports and take it to all government agencies. And then it must also then offer financial statements for use by management and other stakeholders. We've discussed the importance of record keeping. That's part of the controlling of your business. And that's it for chapter 8. What did we cover? The business functions of in entrepreneurship, which are planning, organizing, leading, and control. Oh, and look at this. Ish, me and my eras. And then we also discussed location, the importance of location, why you would want to locate your business in a certain place, the risks that are involved, and important total quality management. That's it for this chapter. Thank you so much.